don't spend that quarter just yet. Some old Washington quarters are worth hundreds, thousands, even over $300,000. From rare mint errors to silver secrets, these tiny coins could make you rich. Stick around as we reveal the top 5 most expensive Washington quarters ever sold. You won't believe number 1. Sounds unbelievable, right? I mean, it's just a quarter. But here's the truth, some 1979 quarters are extremely rare, and a few have sold for huge money at auctions. We're talking over $10,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. What would you do? So don't go anywhere, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly what makes the 1979 quarter so special, what rare errors and features to look for, and how a coin you already have at home could be your unexpected treasure. You might just be sitting on a gold mine without knowing it. Let's take it back for a second. The year 1979 was nothing unusual in terms of coin production. The U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters that year, over 800 million at the Philadelphia Mint, and over 500 million at the Denver Mint. That's more than 1.3 billion quarters in total. So yes, most 1979 quarters are extremely common and worth just face value. But here's the twist, a very small number of these coins have special errors, rare variations, and high-grade conditions that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. It's those rare exceptions that you want to watch for. Because if you find one, it could change your life. Let's start with the S mint mark. While most 1979 quarters came from the Philadelphia, no mint mark, or Denver, marked with a D, mints, there were also proof quarters made in San Francisco, marked with an S. Now here's the exciting part. In 1979, San Francisco produced 2 types of proof quarters, the Type 1, filled S, and the Type 2, clear S. The Type 2 version is much more rare and is highly sought after by collectors. The Type 2S has a sharply defined, clear-looking S, while the Type 1 looks mushy or filled in. If you have a 1979 S Type 2 proof quarter, especially in perfect condition, it could be worth $500, $1,000, or more, depending on the grade. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Some 1979 quarters were struck with major mint errors, coins struck on the wrong metal planchet, off-center strikes, double strikes, or even coins with missing details from the die. One of the most famous error types is the off-metal error, where a quarter was struck on a planchet meant for a different coin, like a penny, nickel, or even a foreign coin. Imagine finding a quarter-sized coin that's the wrong color or weight. Some of these 1979 off-metal error quarters have sold for over $5,000 to $10,000, depending on what they were struck on and the condition of the coin. Another rare and valuable error is the double strike. That's when the coin was hit twice by the coin press, and it shows 2 overlapping images. These are super obvious when you see them and extremely valuable. Some have sold for thousands of dollars. There are also off-center strike errors, where part of the coin's design is missing or shifted to one side. If a 1979 quarter is struck far enough off-center, and you can still see the full date, it could be worth $500 to $2,000 or more, especially if it's in good condition. But what if your 1979 quarter doesn't have an S mint mark or any visible errors? Can it still be worth something? The answer is yes, if it's in amazing condition. Most coins from 1979 were used heavily in everyday life. That means scratches, dents, fading, and general wear and tear. It's incredibly rare to find a 1979 quarter that still looks brand new, as if it just left the mint. But when one of those shows up and gets a high grade, like MS-67 or MS-68, the value can shoot way up. One 1979 P quarter, in MS-67 plus condition, sold for over $1,500. And a top-graded 1979 D quarter has sold for over $3,000. That's thousands of dollars just for condition alone, no error needed. Even the San Francisco proof quarters, if graded PR70, perfect proof, can sell for $1,000 to $2,500 or more, especially the rare Type 2, Clear S, version. So how can you tell if your 1979 quarter is valuable? First, check the mint mark. No mark means it's from Philadelphia. A D means Denver. An S means San Francisco, and that's the one to watch closely. If it's an S, look at it under magnification to see if it's the Type 1 filled S or the rare Type 2 clear S. If it's the clear one, that's your winner. Next, look at the overall condition. Is the coin shiny? Are all the details sharp and clean? No scratches or dents? If it looks perfect or almost perfect, you might have a high-grade coin worth grading. And yes, getting it graded can increase the value dramatically. Then, check for anything that looks weird or off. Is the design shifted? Is something missing? Does it look like it was hit twice? Is the edge weird or the color strange? These are signs of possible mint errors. If you're not sure, you can take the coin to a local coin dealer or submit it to grading companies like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you what you have and give it an official grade, which makes it way easier to sell if you have a rare one. The best part about all of this is that people have found these coins in change jars, old coin collections, and even in circulation. You don't need to be a collector or a coin expert. You just need to know what to look for, and now, you do. So next time you're going through coins at the store, the bank, or even just at home, stop and take a closer look. Because that old, boring 1979 quarter might not be boring at all. It might be your ticket to hundreds, thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars. Treasure is hiding in plain sight. And your next big find might be just one coin away. If you found this exciting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who has a change jar sitting at home. You never know, you might just help someone discover a fortune. I know it sounds crazy. How can a regular old quarter be worth that kind of money? Isn't a 1965 quarter super common? Yes, millions were made. But here's the exciting part: some of those quarters have special errors. Mistakes made at the US Mint that turned a simple coin into a rare and valuable treasure. And some of these coins have sold at auction for prices that could change someone's life. Let's talk about one of the biggest discoveries, a 1965 quarter that was accidentally made with silver. You see, before 1965, all quarters were made of 90% silver. But that year, the US Mint switched to a cheaper metal mix made of copper and nickel. However, during the switch, a small number of quarters were still made using the old silver planchets. Those are the blank metal discs used to make coins. These silver 1965 quarters were never supposed to exist, but a few did. And now they're some of the most valuable coins out there. How valuable? One of these silver 1965 quarters sold for over $105,000 at an auction. That's right, more than $100,000 for one quarter. And the best part is, people have found these in pocket change, in old coin jars, or in their grandparents' collections. It's not just a museum thing. These coins are still out there. So, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is one of the rare ones? First, you can check the weight. A regular 1965 quarter made of copper and nickel weighs about 5.67 grams. But a silver one will weigh about 6.25 grams. You'll need a small digital scale, the kind that measures down to 2 decimal places. They're easy to find online and don't cost much. If your quarter is heavier than normal, it could be a silver one. Another trick is to look at the edge of the coin. Modern quarters have a copper-colored line on the edge because of the copper core. But silver coins have a solid silver edge. So, if your 1965 quarter has no copper showing on the edge, that's a good sign. And then there's the sound. Silver coins make a high, ringing sound when you drop them on a hard surface, like glass or a wooden table. It's a sharp ping that's easy to recognize once you hear it. Regular coins don't sound the same. They're more of a dull thud. Now, if you think you have one of these rare coins, do not clean it. Cleaning can scratch the coin and make it worth less. Instead, take it to a coin expert or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll check if it's real, give it a grade, and even seal it in a special case. This grading can make the value go up even more. But the silver error isn't the only valuable 1965 quarter. There are other special ones too. Some have what's called a double die. That means the coin was struck twice by mistake, and the images or letters look a little doubled. If you see any doubling in the words or numbers on the coin, especially the word Liberty or the date 1965, it might be a double die. These can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how clear the doubling is and what condition the coin is in. There are also quarters from 1965 that were struck off-center, where part of the design is missing or pushed to the side. These errors can also be worth a lot, especially if a large part of the coin is blank or the design looks way off. Some of these coins have sold for $500 to $1,000 or more. Another rare type is a 1965 quarter that was made on the wrong type of metal. For example, some were struck on planchets meant for pennies or foreign coins. These are called off-metal errors, and they can be super rare. One 1965 quarter made on a 1-cent planchet sold for over $7,000. Even if your 1965 quarter doesn't have any of these mistakes, it could still be worth money if it's in really good shape. Most 1965 quarters were used a lot, so finding one that still looks brand new is tough. If you find one that's shiny, clean, and has no scratches or wear, it might be what collectors call mint state. Some of these coins have sold for $5,000, $10,000, and even more, just because they're in top condition. So the bottom line is this: don't ignore your loose change. That old jar of coins in the closet might be hiding something valuable. That quarter you got in change from the store could be worth more than your whole shopping trip. Even if you find just one rare 1965 quarter, it could pay your rent, buy a car, or even put a down payment on a house. And the best part is, you don't have to be a coin expert to start looking. Just grab a scale, look at the edges, listen to the sound, and check for anything unusual. It's a fun way to treasure hunt, and who knows? You could be the next person to find a coin worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So next time you're about to toss your change into a jar, stop and look. That boring old quarter might just be the most exciting coin you've ever held. And if it says 1965, check it carefully. Because you might be holding a piece of history and a small fortune in the palm of your hand. Have you ever looked at your loose change and thought, this is just a bunch of coins? Well, you might want to think again. Because hiding in plain sight be in your change jar, your car cup holder, or even in your wallet could be a 1992 D Washington quarter worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. I'm serious. One small, everyday coin could secretly be a hidden treasure. And what's even crazier? It looks just like any other quarter. Same size. Same color. Same design. But a few rare versions of the 1992 D Washington quarter have made collectors go wild. And when that happens, the value shoots through the roof. So don't go anywhere. Because in this video, we're going to break down exactly what makes the 1992 D quarter so special, how to tell if you have one of the rare ones, and how much it can be worth if you do, from a few $100 to over $25,000 for a single coin. Yes, really. So grab your change and follow along. Let's start with the basics. In 1992, the U.S. Mint made hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. Over 389 million were struck at the Denver Mint, which is where the D Mint mark comes from. These quarters were part of the normal run, no special edition, no fancy silver set, just everyday coins made for circulation. Now, most of these are still worth just 25 cents today. That's right. The average 1992 D quarter that's been in your pocket or wallet all these years? Not worth much. Unless you get one with a rare mint error or a special variety. That's where things get exciting. Let's talk about one of the biggest reasons a 1992 D quarter can be worth serious money. It's called a close AM reverse. Wait, what does that mean? I'll explain it simply. On the back of every US quarter, you see the words United States of America, and below that, E pluribus unum, and then you see quarter dollar. But the part we're focusing on is the tiny word America. In most 1992 quarters, the A and the M in America are spaced apart, which is called a wide AM. That was normal for circulation coins. But in a few rare cases, a proof die meant only for special collector coins was accidentally used on regular coins. And the result? A coin with a close AM, where the A and M are almost touching. These coins weren't supposed to be made for circulation. But a few got out. And when collectors discovered them, they went nuts. So far, only a small number of these 1992 D close AM quarters have been found. And their value? One sold for over $20,000. Another one, in great condition, went for $25,000 at auction. Let that sink in. $25,000. For one quarter. That's 100,000 times its face value. And these are coins that could still be sitting in coin jars, junk drawers, or forgotten rolls across the country. And it's not just the close AM variety you should look for. Some 1992 D quarters have been found with other rare mint errors that also bring huge prices. For example, a double die obverse, or DDO, is when the coin gets stamped with a doubled image on the front. Look at the word Liberty or In God We Trust. If the letters look doubled or shadowed, it might be a DDO. These can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how strong the doubling is and the coin's condition. Then there are off-center strike errors, where the coin's design is shifted, sometimes leaving part of the blank planchet showing. The more off-center it is while still showing the full date, the more valuable it becomes. These can range from $100 to over $1,500, especially if the coin is uncirculated. There's also the rare chance of a 1992 D quarter struck on the wrong planchet, like a nickel or a foreign coin. These weird errors, where the coin is the wrong color or weight, are super collectible. Some have sold for $2,000 to $7,500 or more. Even if your 1992 D quarter doesn't have any wild errors, if it's in perfect condition, it could still be worth good money. Most quarters from that year were used heavily in daily life, scratched, worn, tossed around. So finding one in mint state condition, graded MS67 or higher, is rare. One 1992 D quarter graded MS68 by PCGS nearly perfect sold for over $3,000 at auction. No errors. No close AM. Just amazing condition. That's the power of quality. So now that you know the possibilities, you're probably wondering, how can I check my 1992 D quarter? Here's what to do. First, look at the mint mark. Make sure it's a D. That means it was struck in Denver. Next, look at the back of the coin. Focus on the word America. If the A and M are almost touching, you might have the rare close AM variety. Use a magnifying glass to see it better. You can also compare it to another quarter from around the same time. The difference will be noticeable. If you think you have something special, don't clean it. Cleaning can ruin the coin's surface and hurt its value. Instead, take it to a local coin shop, or send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the coin, grade it, and put it in a sealed holder, which helps big time if you want to sell it. The best part? You don't need to be a coin expert to start checking. All you need is your eyes, a little patience, maybe a magnifier, and an idea of what to look for, which now you have. There are still rare 1992 D quarters out there. People are finding them in their pocket change, in old coin rolls from the bank, in jars of coins that have been sitting untouched for years. It's real, and it's happening. So next time you get a quarter in change, check the date. If it says 1992 and has a D mint mark, take a second look. That plain little coin could be your ticket to $100, $1,000, $10,000, or even $25,000.